that class and lower class.
No, it's not necessary.
It's not there. It's not what.
It's not necessarily like that.
Ah, okay.
I mean that if you are paying $100,
you should receive a value of this $100. If you paid 1,000, you should receive 1,000 value equal this 1,000. The issue here, let's put it like that. If the tourist is coming to Egypt, he should think, what shall I get from there? If the natural resources only, so we should start from the laborers, from the workers, the person who will meet the clients, till he will come back. If you will look through all this chain, you will discover what does it mean, what you'd like to do for him, for the tourists.
Right.
We are attracting a quite big number of tourists. And of course, if you compare it with the potential of Egypt, it's nothing, because we compare it with other destinations and so on. But still, we have approximately 175 room or 180,000, like that. But what is the revenue of that? Compare this number of rooms with any other destination which cares about the value and cares about the service, you will find they are getting tripling, maybe 4 times than the revenue which we have. Moreover, this layer of clients who are coming, their purchasing power is very low.
Correct. Correct.
Why we are taking that? The tourism, the advantage of tourism, it has a multiplier effect on the other industry. For example, the tourist coming, he will buy T-shirt, he will buy some souvenirs, he will eat, he will drink, he will travel, like that. All of those things affect on the industry in Egypt. Instead of we are exporting products, the people are coming to buy. But we don't have up till now the tools.
It's the same as exporting, except
Exactly.
except easier.
Exactly.
Right.
If you have 10 million, as the latest statistics of the Ministry of Tourism, if you have 10 million person, you have 10 million buyer, which you cannot achieve easily in any market you are targeting for all the industry in Egypt. Okay? So now, from 90s, at the beginning of 90s up till now, we built a huge number of rooms. And we didn't link this with the needings of the market. To build room, it means that you know and you're targeting the client.
Yes.
Okay?
It's interesting that you mentioned the number, the figure 10 million, because I received some figures here. In 2007, 46 million tourists came into the Middle East region. 10 million of them came to Egypt. But what I want to know here is how does that compare to the potential figure that we can have? Some estimates predict that by 2011, I guess, the figure will be 14 million. But even now, I mean, at this point, how does it relate to the potential figure, 10 million? How should it be? I mean,
I'll be honest with you. My honest opinion, that the potential of Egypt is very high. I mean, the sky is the limit, all right? But there is also something I don't appreciate or I don't like. When we talk about tourism, we talk about the number of tourists versus we are talking about the human resource or the human factor that you will serving this 10 million. We can make them 20 million even for that. But do we have in Egypt the human factor or the human resources that can assist the people they come language-wise and service-wise? Do we educate our Egyptian people or not? This is all question we have to answer to. The roads. What about the traffic in Cairo, for example? It's 2 hours before you can go anywhere. And you are talking tourism. How you expect tourism to come to Egypt and it's that bad the traffic? In order for me to go to a hotel or to go to the premise or go to here, or if I'm coming for business, I have to spend my day in the traffic. And then you talk about tourism. How? I mean, we have to be realistic. We have to know our problems, where we stand in order to ask for more. We have to be honest and realistic and put the point on the table. But hoping and asking and we are, This I don't go for.
So it goes back once more to the point of infrastructure. We don't have the proper infrastructure to attract more tourists. But given the current infrastructure, the one that we have right now, I mean, the figure 10 million is okay.
Right. Is
it okay?
It's okay. It's satisfactory.
Should we be looking for more given our infrastructure?
I'd like to add something. Even the 10 million or even 14 million, we are like shadow. Excuse me to tell this expression.
Right.
We are not planning the things to attract. I can say that I would like any person to tell me how we have got this 10 million. Suddenly it comes up and suddenly it comes down. So we don't affect in the markets. We don't have the tools. If we have obstacles, how to attract, how to eliminate these obstacles.
That's it.
If this has already happened due to the influx of the international markets. It's not because we already did a big effort and so on that we came to this result. So suddenly, if you speak to the hotels, he cannot. Any hotels in Egypt or any company
Tell you why.
Cannot tell you next month how's his occupancy.
Right.
How? I'd like someone, if we are on air now, can tell me, okay, I can expect in 2 months or 3 months how the things will be done.
And the fact, listen, let me tell you honestly and frankly, we all know that Egypt is one of the countries that does not need any advertising. What we need to advertise, because of our history is known to all the kids, all the grown-up, everywhere in the world. But what we need to market is the facilities today.
And the service.
What we have today. How we serve our clients when they come here. That's what we need to market. But Egypt as a country is known all over. It's the dream of everybody, to come to Egypt. But we really have to pay more and deep attention what steps we can take in order to increase the right number, which is going to be then based on that a correct number, and that's what we deserve.
I would just like to go back to once more to your point that you just mentioned right now. You were telling me about the expectancy. You cannot expect, no one can expect in the tourism industry the volume of incoming tourists in the coming couple of months, for instance. But isn't this a character of tourism in general, volatility, that you cannot expect? I mean, there are so many independent factors that affect the industry, safety, terror incidents, and so on and so forth.
This is what we call force majeure.
Force majeure.
And according to the force majeure and according to the exception, we cannot build strategies and plans. So we are building our plans and strategies according to the normal situation. So according to the normal situation, I expect from this market like that, and so on. And the occupancy should be like that. Of course, you heard about that, what's overbooking suddenly at the hotels. Turn away, people facing some problems, and so on. For what? It means there is no plan. Okay? And suddenly, low occupancy. Accordingly, low rates, promotions, and so on. Why? What's the reason of that? We should know why we are doing that.
Mr. Mohamed, now there's one very important point I wanted to highlight, which is the awareness campaign that we've been seeing lately on TV channels. And I know there have been conflicting opinions on the effectiveness of such a campaign. We've been seeing ads with scenarios such as a tourist going into a bazaar, wanting to buy something, and the shopkeeper kind of switches the price or gives him a different price than the one tagged on the merchandise itself. And this kind of campaign aims at making people aware that, I don't know, maybe improving the human resources attitude, the people's attitude towards tourists. But how effective is this campaign, in your opinion? What's your take on it?
If we are talking about the tourism, we are talking about the foreigners and talk about Egyptians. So this campaign, I don't see how it has impact on the foreigners. This is number one. it has now.
It's not a marketing thing. It's an awareness thing for Egyptians.
Fine.
It's not advertising.
With the Egyptian, I think, let me tell you something. We ask our groups when they leave Egypt, what is the best thing that you experience here? What's the highlight of your trip? The answer that you get all the time is the Egyptian people. Not the pyramids, not the Egyptian people. That means you do have good quality people. What you need is the awareness. If the awareness, I just say, you know. But the awareness doesn't just come from this advertising. I think the awareness comes from giving good example how the tour and real example how the tourism business affect my life. That's when I would know if this is correct or not correct.
So you're just telling me that the issue of human resources is not the problem. I mean, we're addressing something by this campaign. We're addressing a problem that isn't there. You're telling me that tourists come here and they praise the human resources factor. They praise the people. They say that this is actually a great attraction. They like the people and the people like them, and
very much.
This is not the down point. So what is this campaign addressing?
I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't say that there is no some bad people or anything. You know, here there are some people like that. There are some people that are bad to tourists, but I'm saying in general the Egyptian people are very, very kind. Is one of the highlights of the tourism sector in Egypt. And you can correct me, Dr. Mustafa.
Yeah, the last decade, if you can recognize that, we were concentrating on the advertising, like to say that the hospitality of Egyptian.
Yeah.
This was a slogan. But let me come back to the idea of advertising and the awareness issue internal. Advertising abroad, we need advertising. It's not an issue that we don't need. We need advertising. But to advertise to what? As Mr. Nazmy said, okay, historical places are there. Everybody studying in their history, in their syllabus, even in the schools.
Yeah.
And they know and they are dreaming to come. We have resorts very fascinating, very excellent resorts. The idea is that I have to advertise how I'm serving the people in my country. How I'm very hospitable with them, how I'm very so kind, how he will come and feeling that he enjoying his time and we don't ruin his vacation. This is number one. Number two, concerning the awareness. Awareness we need it very much, but it's a very big difference between the awareness and the human resources. Human resources here, we are speaking about the people who are working in the field.
Yeah.
So, how I can grow up people from the school till the university to be equipped and to be ready to deal with some segment of business. This is the human resource. But awareness, I need to tell all the Egyptians that please deal in a very good way with the tourists if you need them in somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to give the message to the people who are selling in the shops. In the shops. This is a very, very, very important point. The people feeling very bad when they are finding all the people in the shop pushing them to buy or something like that. But this is...
And one last thing I want to mention, and I hope, you know, that the official people, you know, they can hear what I'm saying. I think tourism in Egypt, tourism sector, it's connected to education. I don't think that Egypt can really be up as we really want it unless we teach our kids that tourism since KJ. From primary school, they have to learn, not as a subject to study, not as something, you know, try and throw away, no, but to teach them what tourism means for us and to let them play role in it. I mean, since they are young, so they grow in 10, 15, 20 years
and let me
and have generation that they know. The problem now